My name is Hanea. I'm 20 years old. And since I was a child, I've always dreamed of becoming a model. I loved the camera, the lights, the colors, the way confidence could turn into beauty. Every time I saw a magazine cover with a smiling face, I imagined mine there. I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted to feel seen. When I finished college, I finally told my mom about my dream. She smiled gently, but her eyes looked worried. "The world outside isn't safe for girls," she said softly. But I was too excited to listen. I thought I could handle anything. I wanted to prove that even a small town girl could shine in big city lights. One afternoon, I was scrolling through social media and saw a post. New faces wanted. Become a model. No experience needed. It looked professional. Glossy photos, pretty girls, promises of opportunity. The agency was in the city, just a train ride away. My heart raced. I called the number listed. A man answered with a smooth voice. "Hello, I'm Mr. Ryan, talent manager. We're always looking for fresh faces. Come tomorrow for an interview." That night, I couldn't sleep. I picked my best dress, practiced my smile in the mirror, imagined my new life. The next morning, I arrived at a tall glass building in the heart of the city. Inside, posters of models, people with clipboards, phones ringing. It felt real. It felt like my dream. Ryan greeted me with a charming smile. "You have the look," he said right away. "You just need a little confidence and some professional training." My heart leapt. He showed me photos of other girls who had made it big. "If you trust us," he said, "we can make your dream come true. But loyalty is everything." He handed me a contract. It was long, written in complicated English. I didn't really understand it, but I signed. Because in that moment, I wanted to believe him. The next few weeks felt like a blur. Photo sessions, makeup rooms, bright lights. Some photographers were kind, professional, and encouraging, but others made me feel uneasy. They asked me to pose in ways I didn't like. When I hesitated, they laughed. "Don't be shy. You'll never make it if you act like a child." Their smiles looked friendly, but their eyes said something else. Slowly, I began to notice things. Girls crying in dressing rooms. Whispers of special meetings. And sometimes, a girl would disappear, and no one talked about it. Behind the lights and laughter, there was pressure, fear, and silence. One evening, after a long shoot, Ryan approached me. "Hanea," he said, "a brand manager wants to meet you tonight. It's an important opportunity. You should stay." I hesitated. The studio was emptying. Something inside me felt wrong. Still, I stayed, because I didn't want to ruin my chance. The lights were dim. The air felt heavy. I waited alone, hands shaking slightly. When the door opened, a man walked in, older, confident, smiling too much. His eyes didn't see me as a model. They saw me as something else. He spoke softly, complimenting my looks, then began asking personal questions, ones that had nothing to do with modeling. His smile turned darker, his tone heavier. That's when fear truly hit me. I excused myself, mumbled something, and ran. I ran down the hallway, through the elevator, out into the cold city night. The neon lights looked fake now, the same lights I once admired. Everything felt like a lie. When I got home, my mother was waiting. She took one look at my face and knew. I told her everything. She hugged me tightly and whispered, "My child, dreams are beautiful, but some people use them to trap the innocent." That night, I cried until I couldn't breathe. My dream, the one I had cherished for years, had turned into a nightmare. The next morning, I went to see the other girls. They lived together in a small apartment the agency provided. When I walked in, silence filled the air. Eyes avoided mine. The room smelled like cheap perfume and fear. One girl, Sarah, finally spoke. "I had a meeting too," she said quietly. She looked broken, her hands trembling, her eyes empty. "They promise fame, but they steal respect." Her words hit me like a knife. It wasn't just me. It was all of us. I wanted to speak out, but everyone warned me. Don't fight them. They have power, money, connections. Still, I couldn't stay silent. If I stayed quiet, they'd keep hurting others. So I started collecting proof. Text messages, contracts, photos. Every small detail I could find. Every night, I prayed for courage. I didn't know how I'd do it, but I knew I had to do something. Days turned into weeks. And one day, I met Sarah again. She was terrified. "If we speak, they'll destroy us," she said. "They control everything." I looked at her and said, "If we stay silent, they'll keep destroying others." She stared at me for a moment. Then she nodded. We started reaching out to other girls. One by one, they came forward, each with the same story: false promises, manipulation, abuse. We were all victims, but together we could be strong. I contacted a local journalist, a woman named Aisha, known for exposing corruption. At first, she didn't believe me. But when I showed her the messages, the contracts, the photos, her face changed. "Hanea, this is serious," she said. "If what you're saying is true, many girls are in danger." Aisha agreed to investigate. She went undercover, pretending to be a new model. She recorded conversations, gathered evidence. Within days, she had enough to expose the entire network. But before she could publish anything, they found out. That night, I received a message. "Stay quiet, or you'll regret it." My heart froze. My hands trembled as I stared at the screen. I wanted to run. But then I thought of Sarah, of the other girls, of the lives already ruined. So I did the hardest thing. I went to the police. At first, they didn't take me seriously. They said things like, "Are you sure? Maybe it's just a misunderstanding." But when Aisha joined me, with all the proof, they finally listened. 2 weeks later, the truth exploded. The so-called modeling agency was a front, a human trap. They used the promise of fame to exploit young girls. Rayan and several others were arrested. When I heard the news, I didn't feel happy. I felt heavy. Sad for all the girls who had lost their dreams before they could shine. A few days later, I met Sarah again. We sat on the beach, watching the sunset. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Then she asked softly, "Do you think we'll ever forget this?" I looked at her, the waves reflecting in my eyes. "Maybe not," I said, "but we can make sure no other girl goes through it again." That day, I decided my pain had to mean something. I began visiting schools and colleges, telling my story. Standing on small stages, speaking to young girls who still believed the world was kind. I told them, "Be careful when someone promises you quick fame. Real success never needs to be bought with your dignity." Some girls listened quietly. Some cried. Some came to hug me afterward and whispered, "Thank you." For the first time since everything happened, I felt peace. My suffering finally had meaning. A few months later, Aisha's article was published. "The Dark Side of Dreams: How Modeling Agencies Exploit Innocent Girls." It spread everywhere. News channels covered it. People talked. The story became a symbol of courage, not just mine, but for every girl who had ever been silenced. One evening, while walking home, a teenage girl stopped me. "Are you Hanea?" she asked shyly. "Yes," I said. "I saw your interview," she continued. "Because of you, I refused an offer from a fake agency. You saved me." Her words filled my heart with something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. The kind that doesn't come from revenge, but from purpose. That night, I sat by my window and wrote in my diary. Sometimes pain isn't a punishment. It's a lesson that makes us stronger. Today, I still dream. But my dreams look different now. I no longer want to be the face on a magazine. I want to be the voice behind it. The voice that warns others not to fall where I once did. I tell every young woman I meet, the world will try to sell you dreams. Fast, shiny, and easy. But nothing worth having comes through fear or shame. If someone promises you success overnight, if they tell you to keep secrets, if they make you feel uncomfortable, walk away. No picture, no job, no fame is worth your dignity, your body, your respect, your future. They belong only to you. Because once someone steals your respect, you can win it back. But it never feels the same. A few weeks ago, I visited the same city where it all began. The glass building was still there. Same posters, same lights. But this time, I didn't go inside. I stood across the street and watched. The lights still looked beautiful, but I could finally see through them. I whispered to myself, "I'm not afraid anymore." Then I turned around and walked away, not as a broken girl, but as a survivor. Every time it rains, I think of the night I ran out of that studio. Terrified, crying, lost. Now, when I see the rain, I see something different. Not fear, not trauma, but cleansing. Because the rain didn't wash away my dream. It washed away the illusion. I still love cameras. I still love beauty. But now, I understand what real beauty means. It's not about being seen by the world. It's about being at peace with yourself. If you're listening to my story right now, remember this. Dreams aren't dangerous, but the people who sell them for a price, they are. Protect yourself. Read before you sign. Bring a friend. Trust your instincts. And if something feels wrong, don't stay. Because no dream is worth losing your safety. Respect is the most expensive jewel a woman owns. Never give it away for money, fame, or anyone's approval. And maybe one day, when enough voices rise together, girls like me won't have to lose their innocence to learn what courage really means. Because the truth is simple. Behind every glamorous picture, there might be hidden pain. But as long as brave girls speak the truth, darkness can never win forever.